Hello and welcome to the FSU President's House, soon to be home to a distinguished FSU alumnus. I'm Scott Atwell, inviting you to join me in welcoming John Thrasher, FSU classes of 1965 and 72, chosen by our Board of Trustees as the 15th Chief Executive in our history. Of course, as President of the Alumni Association, I'm busting a few buttons that one of our graduates would ascend to the presidency, but I'm especially excited for John Thrasher because of what he's been able to achieve for FSU, especially when the odds were against us. A couple of quick stories. Shortly after I came to work for FSU 20 years ago, I was part of the communications team working to advocate for Florida State's new medical school. We knew it was important if FSU was going to join the University of Florida in the prestigious AAU. And I was in the room that day in 1999 when the old Board of Regents turned down Florida State's request. It was not a good day, but fortunately John Thrasher was just beginning to fight. As the incoming Speaker of the House, he thought there was a better way to govern Florida's higher education system, and he worked with the governor to establish individual boards of trustees at each campus, boards that could approve new academic programs. Then as Speaker of the House, he championed the legislation to fund a medical school. It would be hard to overstate how important that's been to Florida State University. This next story makes me smile every time I think about it. A couple years ago, the University of Florida had introduced legislation that would designate its campus in Gainesville as the flagship institution in Florida. Of course, we don't take a backseat to anybody, but somehow that legislation quietly started gaining momentum and was on the verge of being passed. It all peaked on the same day we were holding FSU Day at the Capitol. There in the courtyard was the band, the cheerleaders, all our fans. But underneath, there was a palpable sense of anxiety as this legislation was moving through. I'll never forget Senator Thrasher coming out of the Capitol building and walking right up to our Legislative Affairs Director, and he asked a simple four-word question: "What do you need?" By that afternoon, the University of Florida's bid to become the flagship institution was over. Well, what if FSU was asking that question today? What does FSU need? In the latest rankings of U.S. News and World Report, our largest drop over the last year came in the category of resources. If we're going to make the top 25 of public institutions, we'll need more resources, and that'll be job one for the president-elect. You know, FSU has been blessed over the years with having the right leader at the right time. I think we have that in John Thrasher. Our goal to reach the top 25 is going to have challenges, but I'm glad we have a leader who's demonstrated that when things were difficult, he was only beginning to fight. In the coming days and weeks, you'll have the chance to meet John Thrasher. I hope you'll take advantage of that, thank him for his service, and encourage his vision for Florida State University. It's a great day to be a Seminole. On behalf of the 300,000 alumni around the world, I'm Scott Atwell. Thanks for joining us.